And now we are good. Welcome to race number 16 of 29 here in the 1990 throwbacks. We're back after a little bit of a hiatus. And right now, Bill Elliott, he has the points lead, took it away from Alan Kulwicki last week. Kulwicki still has the most wins, the most top fives, and the most top tens out of any driver. And Rusty Wallace has had a lot of misfortunes this year, despite leading more laps than anyone else. We are now going to go to Pocono Raceway, which is a track where it's generally dominated by Dale Earnhardt, but he has not done so well in the past few years. Bill Elliott was actually the winner the last time we came here, and he would love to pick up win number 3 on the season if he can. Anything to extend out that points lead, because Bodine is uncomfortably close. Of course, Geoff Bodine, he is up there. He does not have a win. Bodine is still winless. And Ricky Rudd looks like he's going to put his Buick on the pole today here at Pocono. A 95-degree day at Pocono. Man, that, you know, as a native to the area, 95-degree days are, they might as well be 110-degree days. Those are awful. Anyways, Ricky Rudd is on the pole, Elliott in second, Rusty Wallace third, Mark Martin fourth, Terry Labonte fifth, Geoff Bodine sixth, Tim Richmond seventh, Ernie Irvin eighth, Dale Earnhardt ninth, and last week's runner-up, Bobby Hillin Jr., will be rounding out the top 10. Hillin's had a lot of good qualifying runs so far this season, but has not really had the speed to show it in the race. We'll see who's going to have the speed and who will not have the speed, and here comes the command. The command has been given. Ricky Rudd will lead these drivers off into turn 3. The flattest turn in NASCAR, only 5 degrees of banking. Might as well not have any. The pace car will dive off into pit road. And here they come to the line. Green flag is out here from Pocono. You can hear all the cars speeding up. Going into turn number 1, looks like Rudd's going to hold everyone off for now. Rusty Wallace will move into the second position. Elliott trying to get some momentum on the high side. He wants third. Terry Labonte trying to battle Bill Elliott. They're going to go side by side going into the tunnel turn. Quite possibly one of those tricky turns in all of NASCAR. Rusty Wallace has broken away a little bit for second. Terry Labonte will come down on the inside. It looks like he's going to try to take that third position outright. And now here comes Rusty Wallace. He wants the lead, and it looks like he is going to get it. If he gets the run here off of turn 3, which has been difficult to do, Rudd's going to get a strong run on that outside line, and Ricky Rudd's going to lead lap number 1, but Wallace is going to have the preferred line coming down here into the first corner. Look at the block job by Terry Labonte, making sure Bill Elliott can't go by. They go 3 wide into the first corner. Terry Labonte looking for a way around Rusty Wallace. Wallace looks like he's going to be around Ricky Rudd, and it looks like he's going to beat Terry Labonte off of the first corner. But Labonte's got a 3-car draft down there. He's going to have all the help down the long pond straight. Here comes Labonte down on the bottom. And it looks like Terry Labonte, he's going to be the beneficiary here. Labonte should be able to get the lead here in turn number 3. Will he be able to pick it up? I believe he will. Wallace is going to try to fight as hard as he can on that outside line, and look at the run he gets off the corner. Wallace will lead lap number 2. That's 5 bonus points for Wallace. Down in 9th place, he'll take all the points that he can get. Terry Labonte has struggled a little bit through the middle of the season. He wants to get back on a high note. He started the season off well enough. He just needs to do a little bit better. Wallace looks like he's back to the lead outright. Elliott trying to get something done on the outside lane, which once these tires start wearing off after around lap 5, that outside line seems to be the way to go. Labonte trying to block both Elliott and Richmond there. This is a 2.5 mile course, so the draft is of at least some importance at this track. So it will be very important for someone like Terry Labonte to be able to block those drafting lanes whenever he can. These cars are going almost 200 miles an hour. In fact, they are going 200 miles an hour off into the first corner. But they have to slow down all the way to 140 and downshift in corner number 1. And then they get off of corner number 1. They go down the Long Pond straightaway. And they go 195 miles an hour into the second corner. And then that's the fastest corner on the track. And then they come off here and go into the third corner where they're going 185 miles an hour. And this is, of course, the slowest corner on the track. They got to get all the way down to 130 there. There is no best way to tune for this track. You can never get the car in balance for all 3 corners. Usually the best corner to tune for is turn 3, and that's how Dale Earnhardt was just so good in the mid-1980s at this track. He would just tune the car for turn 3, and he would just be a literal rocket around this track. Nobody could beat him. Winning 4 straight races here at Pocono. Yeah, it was a true sight to see that nobody, not Waltrip, not Elliott, not Ricky Rudd, not Tim Richmond, nobody could hold a candle to Earnhardt in his heyday at this track. Earnhardt obviously not as good anymore. When Earnhardt got into that rather terrifying crash at North Wilkesboro, everyone thought that, hey, maybe Earnhardt's going to be significantly affected by the crash. Well, I wouldn't say he was significantly affected by it. He finished 3rd in the points last year. He hasn't been so hot this year, but he is coming along at the very least. He's still an outside championship contender, so don't take your eye off of Earnhardt. He is a 3-time champion. Don't ever take your eye off of him. Now here comes the first Pocono race winner, Bill Elliott. He's trying to get around Terry Labonte. I don't think he's going to get that done because that is a very difficult corner to pass in, keeping your momentum going on the inside lane. That outside lane tends to be preferred getting off that corner, especially if you got it tuned up right. If Elliott can keep his momentum here off of turn 1, he may have a shot at Labonte in the tunnel turn. Here comes Earnhardt now. Elliott trying to sneak by the 5. No. He's got to get a really good run here into the tunnel turn. Wow, look at Earnhardt. Earnhardt charging to the bottom. Pole sitter Ricky Rudd, he's fallen all the way back to 6th. He can't really get anything done today. Tell you what, Earnhardt's got a fast car today. Yeah, that number 3 machine is looking fast. Right now, if we take a look at the fastest laps, rather unsurprisingly, right now, Bill Elliott fastest on the boards with 167.654 miles an hour. Labonte in 2nd. It looks like Mark Martin is 3rd on the boards. Oops, wrong button. Morgan Shepherd is 4th on the boards. Going up here, Tim Richmond. That would be the white and green car there. He's 5th on the boards. Darrell Waltrip, well, he is 6th. Dale Earnhardt, he is only 7th on the boards, actually. Geoff Bodine, who once again has slipped back outside of the top 10 in the first run of the race. He is 8th on the boards. Alan Kulwicki, who was your points leader earlier on in the season. He's now in 2nd in points. He is 9th on the boards. And Rusty Wallace, your race leader, only 10th on the boards. But he has been able to get out in front and conserve his tires a little bit. He hasn't had to run the wheels off the car trying to pass anyone or anything like that. He's just been able to get out in front and cruise. Right now, he's got to be looking in his rearview mirror and look at all of the championships that are currently in Rusty Wallace's rearview mirror. Bill Elliott, 1984 and 1989 champion. Dale Earnhardt, 1980, 1986, 1988, and of course Tim Richmond in 1987. Yep. I mean, excluding Darrell Waltrip, that is all of the championships since 1984. Which is quite amazing to think about it. You take a look at all of the men that have won championships in the 1980s, and excluding Bobby Allison in 1983. That's all of them. Yep. Elliott, Earnhardt, Richmond, and Waltrip. That is all of them. Because you had Waltrip in 81, 82, and 85. You had Earnhardt in 80, 86, and 88. You had Elliott in 84 and 89. Richmond in 87. Allison in 83. That is all of them. Elliott tried to get down to the inside of Rusty Wallace there, and that might cost him dearly. Wow, I can't speak English today. That might cost him dearly. Here comes Dale Earnhardt on the outside lane, and it looks like it's going to work for him. He might be able to clear Elliott. Still going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. He's going to have Terry Labonte help him to some degree. I don't think that's going to happen. Elliott may still have a good run here through the tunnel turn. No, his run gets cut off. Here comes Earnhardt on the outside lane. I think he'll have the 2nd position going into turn 3. Indeed, he's got it all to himself. What a move. What a move. Great move there by Dale Earnhardt. That's really the best way to do it right there. Just got on the outside of Bill Elliott, and he was a bullet. This is something that Dale Earnhardt has done so many times at this track. It's been a little while since Earnhardt has been to victory lane here at Pocono. It's been since the first race in 1988. Earnhardt would certainly like to return, and he's on the edge of doing that right now. Elliott's going to try to use the same trick that Earnhardt used on him, and that's just not going to work. Elliott obviously does not have the car that Earnhardt has. Earnhardt has a very fast car today. It's definitely been a little bit since Earnhardt's had this much speed. It hasn't exactly been the usual dominant season that Earnhardt usually has. He's been a little sluggish so far this year. Definitely good to see the number 3 back up here though. And right now, all 4 members of the Fantastic Four from 1988 are inside of the top 5. Tim Richmond, Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt. These guys combined for all but 5 victories in 1988. Just those 4 drivers combined for all but 5 wins in that year. That was one of the most incredible incredible dominating performances by a group of drivers I think we have ever seen. And I think we'll probably never see anything like that again. Look at the run by Elliott on the outside. Elliott might actually be able to clear Earnhardt here through turn 1. He will. Elliott now is in the second position, but nobody's been able to pass Wallace. Yeah, Wallace is still running very strong here ever since lap number 2. He's been the leader of this race. And how about this? This is really a throwback to 1988 vintage. Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, and Tim Richmond. 1, 2, 3, 4 here at Pocono. Here comes Earnhardt to the bottom of Elliott. The 1988 points championship battle still is one of the best ever. It looked like for a while maybe Wallace was going to win. No. Maybe Elliott's going to win. No. Maybe Richmond's got it. Richmond's going to get it. Nope. The man that outlasted them all was Dale Earnhardt, and I think he really proved that he was the driver of the 80s in that season. And then we somehow topped that amazing performance by with Elliott in Richmond next year having the greatest championship points battle between two drivers in NASCAR history. Only one position or one lap led would have changed who won that championship. All that Richmond would have needed to do was pass Harry Gant. All that Richmond needed to do was pass Harry Gant. And since he could not pass Harry Gant, he lost the championship by 2 points. That's all it would have taken, is one position. Just one position. Or one lap led. And who won that championship? It would have been Richmond. If Elliott would have finished one position less at any race during the season, Richmond would have won the championship that year. And it looks like we're going to have pit stops here, folks. Pretty much most of the leaders look like they're going to be diving off into pit road. Who does not dive off into pit road? Somebody that needs the points. Bill Elliott. This is undoubtedly a points leader trying to hold on to his points lead. Coming out there, he's like, you know what? I'm not going to beat Wallace or Earnhardt on the track, so I'm going to stay out an extra lap, get those 5 bonus points, and then come down pit road. It'll be just like passing them. Yeah, it basically does the same effect. You get 5 points. It's just like passing them. Can't pass them, might as well get them. So we'll follow Elliott around the track here. Obviously, Elliott is going to go very, very, very slow around this track as he's got old tires on. Here he is. He's going to come down pit road. Here's a couple of others that decided to stay out. Ron Moroso, who is running for Rookie of the Year. He's going to come down pit road. It looks like Derek Cope's going to come down pit road. Dick Trickle, last year's Rookie of the Year. And Spencer is going to come down pit road. Here comes Jack Pennington. He'll pull off the track. J.D. McDuffie's J.D. McDuffie. And now here is everyone else. One of the special things about Pocono, 2.5 miles. You can come down pit road, get 4 tires and fuel. You will not go a lap down. It takes about 50 seconds to get all the way down pit road on a 4-tire stop. It will take 58 seconds, roughly, to get all the way around this track. And there's Elliott coming back out onto the track. Now Earnhardt and Elliott get together. Oh boy. Yeah, Earnhardt and Elliott made a little bit of contact there in turn 1. Unlike most NASCAR tracks, Pocono Raceway does not have a merge area. So all the cars have to blend right in on turn 1. And unfortunately, Dale Earnhardt got a little too close to Elliott. You can see some damage on the right side of Elliott's car. Maybe it's just because Earnhardt's car is black or whatnot, but I don't see too much damage on the left-hand side of Earnhardt's car. Let's take a look and see what happened here. See if I have the right lap or not. Yep, here we go. Elliott's going to come down. Yeah, definite contact between them. Luckily, neither of them spun out. Both of them saved it. And they're still going. And now Earnhardt is slowly but surely running in on the 27. You gotta wonder now, did that contact, that was accidental contact, by the way. There's no way that was intentional. Now you gotta ask yourself, is Elliott gonna be as fast? That's gonna definitely affect the aerodynamics on that car. Sterling Marlin's still on pit road. And now Dale Earnhardt, he's looking up at his mirror. He sees that everyone's at least 2 seconds behind him. He's like, you know what? I got time. There's no reason to be aggressive. He should be able to slide on past Rusty Wallace here and come away with his 7th Pocono victory. Earnhardt has just been crazy good at this track. See if Earnhardt can try to make a move somewhere. Yeah, Earnhardt, he's just being methodical right now. Just running on the back of the 27. He's got the faster car. He reeled him in pretty quick, but of course, catching and passing are 2 completely different things. So we'll see if he will be able to make the pass here. Earnhardt looks left in the tunnel turn. I mean, that's not the tunnel turn. That's turn 3, ain't it? That's turn 3. My bad. That was turn 3, not the tunnel turn. Oh, when you just look back up at the screen after pulling up the live chat to see if there's any comments. Turn 2 and the entrance to turn 2 and the entrance to turn 3 look pretty much the same. Will Earnhardt make the move here? Is he going to wait for JD McDuffie? By the way, they've opened up to 3 seconds over Elliott. So these 2 drivers are just the fastest cars on the track right now. Rusty Wallace, who has just not had good luck this entire season, despite leading more laps than any other driver this year, 9th in points. It's just not been a golden year for the gold and black car. And this is just not good because, of course, there are ownership problems with that car. This is probably going to be Raymond Beadle's last year with this number 2017. Pretty much, if they don't come out of here with the championship, he's gone. And I don't think they're coming out of here with a championship. They could try, but it does not look like they're going to even come out of here with the championship. Yeah, they are putting the best car out there that they can week in and week out, and sometimes Wallace just can't get the job done. Like last week, Wallace finished dead last. And there's not much that you can do about it. If Wallace finishes dead last, that's just the way that it is. We are coming up on the halfway mark here at Pocono Raceway. Rusty Wallace has been the dominator so far, leading all but 2 laps. 3 laps. 3 laps. To this point. Dale Earnhardt is looking for a way around, but these two drivers right now are pretty much dead equal. The next lap car to come across is Rodney Coombs, and he is way out there as well. Sterling Marlin, he's still stuck on pit road. He came in with mechanical troubles. They're going to try to get him back out as soon as they can. Right now, Wallace is just doing a good job of keeping all of Earnhardt's lines away, keeping the man in black behind him. That's all that Wallace really needs to do right now, is just keep that number 3 in the rearview mirror, because if number 3 gets out in front, it's over. Earnhardt is a lot faster than that 27 car. Oh, Earnhardt got a good run there off of turn 2. You can see it, and you can see him shuffling back here. All sorts of shuffling for positions. In fact, we've got 3 out of the 4 Hendrick Motorsports machines here with 25 to 5 and 17. Here comes Richmond down to the bottom of Elliott. They've been trying to pass Elliott. They really have not been successful at doing so. Elliott trying to rock it on the outside, and it's just not going to work for him. Nope. Meanwhile, back to the lead. These guys are now 4 seconds out in front of them. Maybe that's what Earnhardt's thinking right now. Maybe Earnhardt's thinking, you know what, if I just stay in line with the 27, let him do his thing. These guys behind us, they are battling so hard that they're going to lose so much time on us. And we just work together, I will be able to get more. The thing that surprises me is that Earnhardt isn't being more aggressive, because you would think that Earnhardt would want the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. That's now blown out of the window, as I believe this lap Rusty Wallace will clinch. In fact, I think he... Yes, this lap Rusty Wallace will clinch most laps led. Earnhardt looked to the inside there, could not get anything done. Now Earnhardt's fallen back a little bit. That's just that little bit of a look to the inside, and Earnhardt's just done. They are coming up on Rodney Coombs, so they will have to get around him. One thing that should be noted, we've never had a caution-free Pocono race in the throwbacks. Even if it seems like it's going to go caution-free, it's never gone caution-free. So keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah, cautions always seem to throw this race for a loop. Everyone seems pretty spread out, so if we do get a caution, I'll be surprised, but hey. Might happen, it might not happen, who knows. Earnhardt right on the back of the 27. He's trying. He's trying. He's trying real hard. Coming up on lap number 30 now here from Pocono. Your leader is still Rusty Wallace. Second place, Dale Earnhardt. The car you see up in front, the blue and white car, that is Rodney Coombs. He is about to go one lap down. Here we see the battle for third, which is basically everybody else. We've got Elliott, Martin, Labonte, Richmond, Waltrip, Rudd, and Kulwicki all up here. Should be stated, here comes Martin down to the bottom of Elliott. Should be stated, now that Kulwicki's caught up here, this could end up being a huge saving grace for Kulwicki because he's going to gain a big margin of points on Geoff Bodine, who's in 19th right now, not having a good day at all. He's going to limit how many points Elliott's going to gain on him because Elliott's only up in the third and he's in 9th. And they are probably going to swap positions more and more. Exactly. So Elliott is going to have this. Earnhardt has still yet to get around the 27. They've gotten around Rodney Coombs up here. Here is the Morgan McClure Oldsmobile, Ernie Irvan. They won the Coca-Cola 600 earlier this year for Ernie Irvan's first career win. And man, oh man, what a first career win that is. If you get your first career win in one of the big 4 races of the year, that is huge. And remember, Irvan had to fight off one of the best in Dale Earnhardt. So, Irvan did an amazing job at Charlotte, put together an incredible pit strategy. And here he is now. He's right on the back of these guys. So, Irvan's going to now join in. And now here comes pit stops. Pit stops for some people, those people are pretty much all the leaders that aren't Wallace and Earnhardt and Elliott and Labonte. From what I see, most of everyone else is coming in. You can see a good wide angle shot there, the front straightaway. Most of everyone's coming in. Now here comes Earnhardt. Here comes Earnhardt and Wallace. They're going to come through the very wide turn 3. And here we go. They're going to duck down into pit road. See if anyone stays out. Allison comes in. Shepard's going to make the hard left. Now here we go with Bonnet. He's going to make the hard left. Same thing with Bodine, Petty, Eddie, Moroso, Strickland, Jarrett, Spencer, Cope, Trickle. Dave Marcus stays up, but he's in 40th. Pearson, Pennington. And now here's the first person that was out of the pits from that group, and that is the number 6 of Mark Martin. Let's see where he ends up lining up. Will he be ahead of or behind Elliott? Well, there's Labonte. Wallace beat Earnhardt out of pit road again. Where is Bill Elliott? Way back. Whoa! Elliott has massive issues on pit road. He's going to end up lining behind Michael Waltrip. Oh, well, Waltrip's a lap down, so never mind. But he's going to be lining behind a couple of not so fast cars. Now, Davey Allison all of a sudden looks like a demigod. Let's see how they line up coming past the line. Allison will come across the line in 10th. Geoff Bodine will come across the line in 15th. Bill Elliott will come across the line in 20th. Wow. And now here comes a battle for position. Irvin trying to take that position away from Kulwicki. The tires are fresh, so that might actually end up working. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace has a 1.6 second advantage over Dale Earnhardt. Is that advantage coming down? No. Not much. Tim Richmond, he's currently scored in 4th. Darrell Waltrip 5th. Taylor Lonnie 6th. That's 3 out of the 4 Hendrick machines there. Pole sitter Ricky Rudd is in 7th. Alan Kulwicki's held on to 8th. Irvin in 9th. And Davey Allison rounding out the top 10. This is an absolutely huge day for Tim Richmond. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, definitely. Huge day for Tim Richmond. Alan Kulwicki is going to resume being the championship points leader at the end of this race, assuming everything works out. Now, don't forget, there may be people that might not be able to make it all the way to the end of this race with the way that the pit strategy is working out. So keep that in mind. They might not be able to make it all the way to the end. It's going to be close. Man, it is going to be close. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Some people may not be able to make it all the way to the end. Earnhardt's really not gaining any ground on Rusty Wallace. Well, we'll find out when he comes across the line here. Now, I would call that gaining a lot of ground. And everyone else pretty much lost ground. Davey Allison has joined this position battle, and he just pushed Ernie Irvin around Alan Kulwicki. Alan Kulwicki might be slated to lose 2 positions here. If Kulwicki can't get those positions back, that is going to be a huge gain for Tim Richmond. You know, all of a sudden Tim Richmond's going to be within 20 points of the points lead at the end of this race. That's going to be incredible. I don't know about within 20. Kulwicki will be able to hold on to the position against Allison at the very least. But Irvin is going away. I think Allison's faster, and I think Allison's going to find a way around Kulwicki here soon. Just keep in mind, this is the best that Allison's ran in a long time, so he's got to be very happy with that car right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they are extremely happy. Look at this dive down to the inside by Allison. And look at that, right around him. So that's 2 positions lost by Kulwicki, and how many positions is that going to mean for Richmond? That'll be 26 points for Richmond, so he'll be within 50. Within 50? Within 50. So right now Richmond's within 50. Yes. And also Geoff Bodine is only going to lose 12 points. So he's going to be roughly in the same ballpark as where Tim Richmond is. And Elliott's going to lose a lot more points. Tack on another 15 to that, so that's going to be... Geez, that's a lot. Yep. So what does that make it? 28? Yep. Another 28 points dropped by Elliott. So maybe Elliott's still going to be the points leader at the end of this. If it's only 28 points that he's dropping. $27 points. Yeah, he's only dropped 27 points, so right now Elliott is still the points leader. So I take all that back. Elliott is still the points leader. Kulwicki 40 points up, but I mean Elliott 44 points up coming into this race. Elliott looks like he's going to be, what would that be? I am not good at mental math. Anyways. It's 17, by the way. So Elliott right now has a 17-point lead over Alan Kulwicki. And right now, slowly but surely, Dale Earnhardt is reeling in Rusty Wallace, but it's just not at a fast enough rate. Wallace is just... He's probably going to be coming away with his second win of the season here at Pocono. And he's done a fantastic job today. All of the 3 points leaders did terribly today, unfortunately. Elliott's slated to gain a lot of positions, though. He might have had that awful pit stop, but he is slated to gain a lot of positions. Here's Hillen. Like, he's already up into 17th. That's Hillen for 16th. That's Gamp for 15th. And that's Schrader for 14th. And they're all right in front of him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Elliott can get to and maybe even pass Geoff Bodine by the end of this. So keep an eye on the 9 car and see how many positions he actually picks up here. Davey Ellison's about to lose a position to Alan Kulwicki. Yep. Yep. Great move there by Kulwicki to get that position. Going back up to the lead, 2 seconds. Nope. I thought it was coming down. It was down to 1.5 seconds, but now it's 2. Unless JD McDuffie really gets in the way of the 27 here, it's over. Yeah, it's going to really take an amazing run by the 3 car. And I think that both the 27 and the 3 have enough to make it to the end. Just keep that in the back of your mind that it might not be the case that everyone makes it to the end of this race. 2.2 seconds, and it's probably going to be even more now. Yeah, Wallace is actually faster. Yeah, so Wallace is going to come home with the victory. And I was saying about some people not being able to make it. Mark Martin on pit road. Oh, are they starting already? A lot of people on pit road. So maybe nobody can make it. Round of pit stops, 5 laps to go. Looks like that's going to be the case. Not for Wallace. Not for Earnhardt. Labonte's not coming this lap either. Rudd, Kulwicki, Allison are staying out. Shepard is staying out. Bodine is staying out. Elliott's staying out. So now Kulwicki looks a lot better right now. $21 points he is going to make up on Elliott today. If the field stays the way it is, 21 points. Elliott's going to make up 21 points on Kulwicki. I mean, Kulwicki's going to make up 21 points on Elliott. My bad. Oh boy. 3 laps to go. Who's got to come down pit road? Who's going to stay out? Kulwicki moving up into 4th here potentially. Every position gained by Kulwicki is going to be huge. Absolutely more huge than you even think. Here we go, Kulwicki to pit road. Same thing with Rudd. And Davey Allison staying out. 2 laps to go. So Alan Kulwicki can't make it. Neither can Ricky Rudd. Oh boy. Fuel mileage coming into play here at Pocono. Will Rusty Wallace have enough to make it to the end? Richard Petty dives off the track. Wallace is sure as hell gonna try. White flag. A 4-second advantage right now on Earnhardt. If either runs out of fuel, if both of them run out of fuel, it's 12 seconds back to Labonte. Wallace looking good through the tunnel turn. He's still got to make it through one last corner. If he runs out of fuel now, Earnhardt's going to pass him. And I think he can coast it from there. Wallace is going to come off of turn number 3, and he's going to win the AC Spark Plug 500. Earnhardt in second. And that's everyone. Davey Allison with a season best finish of 4th. And you know what? We keep on saying that Geoff Bodine pulls great finishes out of his backside. He will finish 5th today. And he will be the only person to gain points on Bill Elliott. Oh, Elliott is way down. Elliott having problems? Where's Elliott? Elliott way down in the standings. Elliott ends up finishing 21st. Kulwicki 16. Tim Richmond 14. But Geoff Bodine 5th. Does that make Bodine the points leader? Yes, Bodine is the points leader. Geoff Bodine, no. Geoff Bodine is the point. Geoff Bodine is once again your points leader, winless so far this season. 6 points over Bill Elliott after a disappointing finish. Alan Kulwicki will end up third in points after all of this. Tim Richmond will end up 4th in points. Rusty Wallace will move up in points with his 3rd win on the season, as he tacks on even more laps onto his already impressive laps led total. He will move up a position in points to 8th, and this is just shaping up to be yet another incredible points battle. Anybody up here in the top 9 or 10 in points theoretically has a shot at winning this race. I mean, winning this championship. My goodness, what what an incredible season we've had so far. Look at this, we haven't even had a DNF out of anybody in the top 6, and I think that's just absolutely incredible. It shows you just how much work they put into making these cars go the distance throughout the race. They're not crashing as much. They're staying out of trouble, and they're finding out that, hey, consistency is what matters. And right now, obviously, finishing up front near the end of the race is what matters. And Geoff Bodine's proven that he can do just that. He doesn't need to be any good for the first 95% of the race, but the last 5%, as long as he gets into like 5th or 6th or 7th, he can be good. And right now, that's pretty much what he's been doing all season long. So here are your results from Pocono Raceway. 47 out of the 50 laps led went to Rusty Wallace. 1 to Rudd, 2 to Elliott. And that's it. Just 3 lead changes between 3 drivers. What an impressive performance by Rusty Wallace. We'll see you next time for, I believe, Talladega for the Die Hard 500.